How's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to another Grand Archive video here on Red Zone Rogue. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Grand Archive demo decks. These are actually really interesting, and I picked up a couple of these courtesy of Silidar. And if you didn't know, Silidar is one of the creators of Grand Archive, the lead game designer at Anime Expo. I was actually at AX for Sci Games. I was the MC and host of the Sci Games special stage for Shadowverse Worlds Beyond, but of course I stopped by and said hi to all my friends over at Grand Archive. Picked up some of these demo decks and a bunch of other merch. You can see the little Tristan back here and just a lot of stuff. But these were really interesting. So we're going to talk about these today. I talked to Silidar all about them, the intents, what's different about these than previous demo decks. These are quite a bit different, actually. What I like, maybe some of the stuff that I don't like as much. I don't really have too many negative things to say about them, but I think there are some things, especially for brand new players. If you just handed them this Dante deck and you're like, here you go, well, there's a couple of caveats that come with it that they really need to know, and you really need to know as well going into these. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our top down and check out the latest two Grand Archive demo decks. By the way, these are free. These are free. You can pick up these for free at events where Grand Archive is there. So get that out of the way. You don't have to pay money for these. They're free. So let's do it. All right, so here we have the two new Grand Archive demo decks. We have the Lorraine Arclight Saber demo deck. This one is Fire and Arcane, as well as the brand new character Dante. This is Dante Hemomancer deck. This one is Water and Exia. I have these sealed copies that I'm going to keep sealed for now. I like to kind of collect these and stick them on my background display. But I do have unopened versions that I've been diving into as well. Oh, I also have some beautiful Pure Beyond Fuzi Choco promos that I got at Anime Expo. These are going to be sleeved up and kept very nice. Might actually play some of these in Pantheon. But we also have the decks themselves. And so I have some stuff to say about these, a little bit of the concerns, but overall I think these are fantastic. So, like I said, you have two new demo decks that are kind of built to be played against each other. And the idea that I got from these, or rather the notion that I got from Silidar, is that all of the demo decks, beginning with these and going forward, are kind of built to be played against each other. So you can even make like a weird demo deck battle box out of all of these demo decks and all of the upcoming demo decks, which I think is actually really cool, especially since these are free and you can actually make like a cool little free way to play Grand Archive. Now, one of the big things about these demo decks. Previously, the Grand Archive demo decks are they're tournament legal. You could use those demo decks for tournaments, with the exception of the very first one. That is the exception. I think it was the 2022 Grand Archive demo decks. They use an entirely different card stock. These ones are also not tournament legal. They even say it on the back of the card. It says not legal for sanctioned play, and they all also include this little yellow and green shield-looking thing that denotes that they're not legal for tournament play. And that's kind of one of the big bummers for this. And it's not the biggest deal, right? And the reasons why they did this makes a lot of sense to me. And I'll showcase exactly why that is. Also, apparently the card stock is a little bit thinner. It's not quite the same card stock, is what Silidar told me. It's still like really good card stock, to be honest. Like, this is better card stock than a lot of other TCGs, and it still has like the texture on the back, so it's still like pretty nice. So this is the reason here why these are not tournament legal. This, and then plus a couple other cards. Here you can see Lorraine Arclight Saber. But wait, this is a level 2 Lorraine Arclight Saber that has Arcane, which is basically unheard of in Grand Archive, with a couple minor exceptions like Dark Alice. We don't have champions that activate their advanced element at level 2. This is actually not indicative of regular Grand Archive play, which is actually one of my issues with these. We'll talk about that in a moment. But the positives are that they made playable demo decks that actually get you to advanced elements, and there's advanced elements cards in these decks. They're not super complicated. So here we have Return Stroke, which is a 3-cost attack. does 4 damage and has floating memory, which is actually cool. Like arcane cards with floating memory, very good, because you can banish them and then get the effects from them being banished, because a lot of arcane stuff cares about things being banished. So actually, pretty cool card here. But it does give you a sense of getting to that advanced element and learning that there are more elements in Grand Archive. I also like that both of these demo decks feature different characters. It's not just Lorraine Wind and Lorraine Fire. These are different elements. So we have Water and Exia with Dante and Mage, and then we have Lorraine with Fire and Arcane and Warrior. So it's a nice differentiation between the old demo decks. So yeah, positives are they made it so that you can get to level 2 and activate your arcane element. The negative here is that this is not indicative of an actual Grand Archive play experience, because, well, you don't really get to level 2 and then have your your advanced element enabled. And I hope that new players don't get the wrong idea that this is how things work. The other thing is that if you are giving these to a brand new player and you don't kind of give them the spiel that these cards are not legal for play, and then there are cards that are extremely different than what is going to be printed in Asphodel. Like, so this card, obviously, not legal for play, level 2 Arcane Element. This is not what Lorraine is going to be, right? It's completely different. And so if they don't know that, going to their LGS, you could have like a feel bad moment where they're like, hey, why can't I play with my Lorraine, my level 2 Lorraine? Or they could be like, oh, I see that it's not legal for play. Can I just buy a real one? And then they'd have to explain, well, here's the real one, but it's a little different. It's level 3. It's not a big deal. It's just something that I wanted to point out that differs from the original demo decks. And I think it's relevant to kind of denote the differences between them, and I think that's one of the big significant differences. Some of the cards are exactly the same. So here we have Lorraine Wandering Warrior. Well, sort of exactly the same. I also want to note that the life on all of these is a little bit different, and the life actually corresponds to the Dante life as well. And if you know Grand Archive, you know that warriors tend to have more life than mages, but for this demo deck, they made them the same. So there's that as well, just to make it a little bit more even, specifically for the demo deck, so you can actually, have the demo deck end at a proper time, like a demo game end at the proper time. So yeah, there are some differences as well, but the effect is still the same, right? The effect is still the same. We have the Spirit of Fire. Effect's still the same as like your general draw 7 spirit. And then we have a bunch of kind of like staples. It would have been cool if they didn't put this can't be used for tournament play on every card. I mean, I understand that they have to all be the same on the card back, because then, it would basically make it so that some cards would feel marked, but maybe they just get rid of this thing on the back and they just write it on here next to the little shield, or on the type line here, that it's not legal for tournament play. Because giving a player a demo deck and telling them, hey, some of these cards you can actually put into your competitive deck and they'd be very good. Not Life Essence Amulet, but like Safeguard Amulet is extremely playable. Sword of Seeking is also very playable. So is Terrafring. So these 3 cards you could actually play in like a competitive deck if they weren't not legal for competitive play. And I do think having that through line between the demo deck and to like your player's first competitive deck is really cool, right? They can be like, I brought this all the way from the demo and here I am at an Ascent or something like that. So that is another kind of negative. I kind of wish they figured out a way to make at least some of the cards legal for competitive play. It's not the biggest deal, but it's just one of those things, well, like I said, things that I thought about while checking these out. And so we do have some like good cards. We have Life Essence Amulet, which is like, it's fine. It's a nice little like demo card. But Safeguard Amulet is just a competitive staple, helping protect you from non-combat damage. Sword of Seeking is kind of like your go-to Lorraine on enter sword. It's just very, very good. We also have the Terrafring, also competitive staple against any aggressive deck. or any deck that just wants to beat you down with attackers. And then we have this new card, Fulminator Rising Storm, which I'm pretty sure is also completely different than what it will be on launch. It's just a 3/2 arcane warrior Veltech sword. Very, very interesting. And it just, on enter, draws a card. It does kind of read out exactly what weapons do. So it like enters the field with 2 durability counters, yada yada, which I think is cool. I think that it kind of explains it is good for being like a starter card. And there's kind of like your mini champion and material deck. So yeah, that's kind of cool. I'm gonna just kind of go over some of the other cards here, but those are my general thoughts. The other thoughts I wanted to mention, by the way, before I kind of go deep, is the differences between the 2 decks. Now I've talked to a bunch of people. Here we have like the Dante deck and the Dante lineage, and then some of the cards. We do have some crossovers. We have Life Essence, Safeguard, and then Tariff, but this one has Shard of Empowerment and this cool Crimson Vein, which I think is a pretty cool regalia. And then of course the actual deck here. I've heard mixed things in regards to what people think the power level of each deck is relative to the other. So I've heard people who are maybe a little bit less experienced with Grand Archive say that they believe that the Lorraine deck is a little bit more powerful and straightforward. I agree that it is definitely straightforward. And it also might be more powerful to players who aren't super into Grand Archive or super familiar. And then I've heard from more seasoned players, some of the folks giving the demos, as well as from Silidar himself, that, well, Silidar said that he thinks that Dante might be a little too complicated for brand new people to TCGs, which could be the case. And some of the people doing the demo said that they think the Dante is just a stronger deck. But once again, I talked to some other people who it was, they're not super familiar with Grand Archive, and they felt that Lorraine was a little bit stronger. So actually I don't hate that. I don't hate that you also have this kind of like curve learning to play the game, going from Lorraine and then realizing that Dante is actually pretty good. So I do actually like that. I do like this, like some sort of differentiation between the two. So there's that. I do wanted to mention that as well. So let's kind of like dive into the Lorraine deck a little bit more. So here we have the material deck. So let's talk about some of the cards. Once again, some of these cards might differ from their actual retail version, but I think it's kind of cool to just check out the awesome, beautiful new art from Asphodel and kind of some of these cool cards. So we have Package Courier, which is a 1/3 on enter. You can discard a card if you do draw. It's interesting that it's a 1/3 and it has on enter. Likely, you know, no one's really clamoring for this over something like you know, the Korhazi Courier or something like that, but nah, it's still kind of cool. And there's no like class bonus. It reminds me more of the Hasty Messenger, but a little bit smaller, but only one-time effect. I don't know. Here we have new art for Honorable Vanguard. Absolutely beautiful. I would not be surprised if this is included in like the starter decks or even in the set. Yeah, just a 1/2 floating memory. I do really love the new setting. Here we have Shield Droid. It's it's just a 0/2 taunt with floating memory, but this time it's a Guardian Disc Core Android, or Disc Corp Android. So kind of a new Asphodel flavor. We have a reprint of Deflecting Edge. I think all the art in this is just super, super good. So this is another card that they could have made, you know, not... Same with like the Honorable Vanguard. Like this is a reprint that's exactly how it normally is. They could have made this one tournament playable, but you know. Here we have Return Stroke, a brand new card. Like I said, a arcane attack with floating memory. We have Forging Heat. This is a 2-cost warrior skill craft action slow. Put a durability counter on a sword weapon you control. It gets +1 until end of turn, and it has floating memory, so pretty cool there. I like any fire card with floating memory because they're great to discard to various effects. We have Creative Tinder, kind of like Creative Shock. It's just a 3-cost draw 2 discard, but only slow speed, and you don't have that class bonus. So this one's an interesting one to see if this is actually sees like you know, real play and real print. This just seems like a dumbed down version of Creative Shock, just for like a demo purpose. I imagine that's exactly what it is. We have Ember Slash. It's just an attack, and it says on attack you can discard a card if you do draw a card. It's just a 1-cost. Actually kind of a cool card. It is only class bonus, but I do like how it spells out what an attack is though. We have a Tindered Soldier. It's a 2-cost 1/2. And then when you discard a fire element card, if there are no buff counters on this, you put a buff counter on this. I think this is actually really solid. It's basically a 2-cost 2/3 if you also discard a card in the turn. So I actually think this is like a pretty cool card. Like, let me know if I'm wrong on this, but a 2-cost 2/3 seems good. I don't know. This card seems actually kind of good. We have Rumble Coordinator, gorgeous artwork on this one. 3 cost 2/4 with Vigor, and then for each of up to 2 Arcane Element cards in your banishment, this gets +1. I unironically want to try this in my Rye Pantheon deck. I think this card is sweet. So if this one also sees print as this card, I will likely try to get a foil one and then jam it in my Rye Pantheon deck. Because I think it could do a ton of damage, right? It seems good, yeah. We have a reprint of Banner Knight with super cute artwork. There's another one that, once again, they could have just made this tournament legal. I mean, I did mention the card stock is different. That is a whole other thing as well. I imagine the card stock being different means that it's a lot cheaper to manufacture, which makes these more viable to give out for free. But it's just, once again, I just kind of wanted to include everything. And so here we have the rest of the cards. I think it's just duplicates from here. So we have Return Stroke, Tindered Soldier, the Tinder, Shield Droid, Rumble Coordinator. Yeah, I think these are all just duplicates of other cards that we had already seen. So yeah, that's basically the deck for Lorraine. Did I put... I did mix it in already. Yeah, it's a cool deck. I actually think this is, and I think both of these are, by the way. I'm just saying this kind of like halfway through the video, I suppose. But I think these are the best demo decks they've done to date. Like I said, I did have a couple like things here and there, but I think these are cool. Here we have, oh, I didn't even talk about what Lorraine did. Lorraine says, on enter, if there's 1 or more Arcane Element cards in your banishment, her next attack this turn using a sword gets +3. It's just kind of like a big, comes into play, big +3 thing. It's interesting, right? It's not the +2, the normal Lorraine level 2, the +2 and draw a card on kill thing, but it's kind of a cool little way to kind of showcase what Lorraine does for the demo decks. Obviously, once again, this card will not exist in actual competitive play, but it's cool as like a little demo thing. So here's Dante. Dante Hemomancer, once again, he's level 2 Exia, will not exist in actual competitive play. And his ability is you can pay 2 and use his effect to empower 2. Then if there are 10 or more damage on him, you recover 2, which I think is really good. I think his other effect might be similar to this, but I think the damage counters might be higher. I'm not sure, but once again, cool for like demo purposes. I think this one is the same, but I think the stats might be a little bit different. But on enter, you summon an Elysian test subject, and yes, we have a copy here. I know I missed it for that previous video because I just looked at their social media for the news. I didn't have time to scour the whole live stream. But we have the Elysian test subject, which is a 0/2 with Elysian aura, which means as long as you control an object with Elysian aura, Aenean spell cards you activate and resolve as if your champion has +2 level. So basically this just gives you +2 level on all of your Aenean spell cards, which is really, really cool. It does not stack. And this one also has stealth, so it's a little bit tougher to kill. And look at, she's cute. So yeah, on level 1, you get one of these little stealth dudes that helps pump all your skills. And I like how they put, by the way, they put the token on the back of the how to play, which is kind of cool. We also have our Spirit of Water. And then we have our Life Essence Amulet, Safeguard Amulet. We have our Shard of Empowerment, which is, you can sack it to empower 2. This deck really cares about empowering, as you could guess. We have the Terrafring, and then we have Crimson Vein, which is a 1-cost Exia Regalia. On enter, you get to draw a card. And it says, at the beginning of your Recollection phase, deal 2 damage to your champion, and then you empower 2, which is cool. I like this card, actually. I think this card's pretty cool. All right, let's talk about the actual cards in the Dante demo deck. So first up, we have Aenean Ward. It's a fast action Cleric Mage Aenean spell reaction, and it just says prevent the next 2 damage that would be able to target unit this turn. And then class bonus, level 3+, draw a card. This is great because with your Aenean test subject, you just get to draw a card no matter what. If you're level 1, this will give you the additional +2 levels to count as level 3. So that's cool. You get to draw that card. And I like teaching these sorts of interactions. These are some of the most complicated interactions in Grand Archive, is just remembering all of your like plus level stuff. So like plus level from this, in power. I think learning that kind of stuff is pretty good actually for Grand Archive. We have another Shield Droid. We have the Keen Tidebinder. It's a 3-cost 1/3 with class bonus Floating Memory and class bonus whenever you empower for the first time each turn. This gets +2 until end of turn. So if you're empowering a lot, this is a 3-cost 3/3, which is actually really good stat lines for Grand Archive. So another card that I think is actually kind of sweet. This card's like kind of sweet, right? For like actual constructed, it's a 3/3 Floating Memory if you're empowering a lot. I don't know. Let me know about that one. I think it's cool. Here we have Hemoflux Drain. This is an Exia spell. So it's a 4-cost. If you have class bonus 10 plus damage, it costs 3 less to activate, so it only costs 1 if you've taken 10 damage. And then it also says level or deal level damage to a target unit, then recover X minus 2, where X is the amount of damage dealt this way. So if you are empowering and you also have something like the Elysian test subject, you can do a lot of damage, right? So you can do like 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6 if you have the other thing and you're empowering 2. So you can like blast something for 6 and then heal for 4. Seems pretty cool. I do like this as like a demo deck like mage card. We have another one that's just a straight reprint. This is Nascent Blast, deals 3 damage to a unit, and if it was empowered, you return it to your memory, which is really good. I love this card in Rye Pantheon. It's just one of the recursive spells you can keep playing as long as it's not like negated or something. We have Heightened Spellcraft. It's a 1-cost, Empower 3, and class bonus Floating Memory. Yeah, absolutely fantastic for this kind of deck. Once again, I like teaching your new players Empower. Here we have another Honorable Vanguard. We have a Frostbind, so once again, teaching sort of like counter magic and negation. This is another one that would have been cool to be like, yeah, you can play this in competitive, because like, Frostbind's a great card. And then we have Aenean Ward. Oh, so here we have another new one. Aenean Frostlance. This is another card that I really want to play in Rye, because I play Water Pantheon Rye. This is a 3-cost fast speed Mage Aenean spell, and you can deal 2 damage to a unit, and then class bonus level 3 plus if it's rested, deal 4 instead, and then class bonus level 6 plus if it's rested, deal 8 damage instead. And you can deal so much damage with this card in Pantheon, man. Like doming one of your opponent's champions for 8 at fast speed plus any other buffs you have. I hope this card is what it is when it sees print. This card is sweet. You could just kill people with this card. We have a Magus Initiate. This is kind of like a new take on the, I think it's called like the Mage Apprentice. It's similar. So it's a 2-cost 1/1, class bonus on enter, empower 2, and on death draw a card. The other one just gives your champion like just a +1 level, which I think is just better than this. But, well, maybe. And this is like a little bit more of a combo-y card, whereas the other one just gives you like a static +1. But it's still kind of cute and cool. And so this one maybe we'll see play in my Rye deck. Probably not, but maybe it draws a card on death. We have Unruled Bereavement. Brutal. This is a 3-cost Mage Aenean spell. It's slow. Until end of turn, whenever an ally dies, you empower 2. That seems really strong. And then on level 6 plus, you deal 3 damage to all allies, which is interesting. So it'll do this effect first and then this effect. So it'll deal 3 damage to all allies, and then you will empower like a whole bunch. And this is a way that you can do it kind of like a big wombo combo turn with the Hemoflex Drain. Have a bunch of stuff die, and then blast someone for a huge amount. And so here's the Hemoflex Drain. And then we have a Frostlance. I think that's all the deck. Yeah. And so there's some cool cards like in this deck. I don't think they went like underpowered. I think they actually put some like great cards that people will recognize in competitive play, and some interesting lines. So overall, like I said, I think these are the best demo decks they've done. Once again, I love the fact that these are free demo decks. I love the fact that you can, once again, maybe compile all these and all the future demo decks they do into kind of like a battle box, and you'll have like a demo deck battle box for Grand Archive. And frankly, it's something that I wish more TCGs did. Free demo decks you can just hand out to people and be like, hey, this is kind of like a microcosm experience. The only negatives I have are kind of what I said, right? It's that these are not exactly indicative of how Grand Archive is played. You don't really get your advanced element on level 2, and that a bunch of these cards, or all of these cards, are not legal for tournament play, and some of them will likely be completely different from the actual like printed release. So those are the only negatives. Everything else is super positive. I think these are great, and I think it's fantastic that they're doing these. So if you wanted to pick up Grand Archive, by the way, and you're like, should you try to get these? Well, first of all, yeah, they're free, man. And then 2, like, yeah, jam some games with a friend and see if you like it. I think these are good experience. I think, yeah, the Dante deck is a little more complicated, and you can do some really sweet stuff with this deck. And the Lorraine deck's a little bit more straightforward. You play dudes and you attack. Yeah, so let me know what you think of these in the comment section down below. Do you like the new Grand Archive demo decks? I do. Like I said, I think they're great, with a couple like little caveats. So thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you for being here and supporting the Grand Archive content. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time for some more Grand Archive and TCG content. See you later, everyone.